Hi, everyone, and welcome to week 6 of distance learning. So, for this week, we're going to be focusing on modules 2.12 and 4.01. So, for 2.12, this is a short little lesson about taking a closer look at your essay. And then this is where you're going to submit your final draft of your essay and your works cited page. And note that it is worth 100 points. This will make or break your grade, essentially. It is 100 points. So for over the past 5 weeks, you have been working on your essay. It's been chunked up for you. So you started with the research process, and then you worked on the introduction by creating a hook and a thesis statement. And then you worked on your body paragraphs about the monster that you chose. So what was the problem with that monster, who it affects, and what was the problem, the solution to the problem. And so you were to submit that. And then you were to work on your conclusion on the following week. So for this week, we are going to focusing on revising the whole essay and a works cited. So let's take a look at 2.12. So at the end of this lesson, you're going to submit your full and final draft and a works cited. Your objective is to understand that language varies depending on situations. You're going to identify and revise informal language. So one last check. So here's an example. So say you want to go somewhere special. Your mother says you may go, but you need to clean your room and it needs to be perfect. So you straightened, dusted, and swept. She's about to come in. What do? You're going to do a final check. You're going to make sure everything is perfect before it's seen. It's the same thing with your writing. You have researched, you've written, and you revised at this point. So now it's time to make one last look to make sure everything is perfect before you submit. And then we're also going to be talking about making your works cited page and submitting that with your essay. So slide 4 is going to show you the difference between formal and informal language. Informal is what you would say when you're having a conversation with someone and you use the text language or use acronyms like LOL, got to go, talk to you later, those kinds of things. This is more formal language, and that's what you should be using for your essay. This is going to be an interactive slide. So you're going to hit begin and you're going to go through the 4 slides. And it's going to give you some formal writing tips not to use like the words I, me, or us. So if you looked at some of your feedback, if you use the words I, me, or us, I have told you to take those out. And this is not to be written in the first or second person. This is third person because we're writing facts and we're writing an informational essay. So there should be no opinions. This is another interactive slide to how to identify informal sentences. Slide 7 is going to be your final reflection. And then this is a good page to where you're going to find how to format your works cited. So when you go to work on that, remember it is slide 7 of 2.12. And you're going to click on works cited. This is going to show you 7 examples of citations. So if you're using online resources, this is the formats that you're going to use. So if you're using an online encyclopedia, this is how you would format. The title of the article, the name of the encyclopedia, the year, name of the online source, the date, and then the URL. So here's an example with the bed bugs. So the title was Bed Bugs. It was Compton's Encyclopedia, published in 2013. The name of the online source was the Britannica School Edition. The date accessed was the 25th of January, 2013. And then this is the URL. This is the website where you would find the article. If you have a website with no author, this is how you would format, or if you have a website with an author. Now, if you were using printed resources, if you're using a book, this is how you'd format an encyclopedia, a magazine article, or a newspaper article. But I believe most of the articles were online resources that were provided for you. So take a look at these, and that's how you're going to format with those 1 or 2 articles given for your monster. Now, if you don't remember where the articles are located, they are also in slide 7 of 2.04. So remember, slide 7 of 2.12 is where you're going to find your works cited. Slide 7 of 2.04 is where you're finding the articles. Okay, slide 8 is just going to be your recap or your review of formal writing. So remember to avoid first and second person. Take out those I's, we's, or us. Eliminate contractions, which means if you say we don't, which you shouldn't be using we anyway. If you said we don't, take out the we and take out the don't. It should be do not. Take out those contractions and abbreviations. Remember, this should be objective, not subjective. This is not your opinion. This is straight facts. And do not include slang words or cliches. Slide 9 is going to be your instructions. So remember, you're going to click instructions. So you're going to read your article out loud. Sometimes reading out loud, you're going to catch those mistakes that you wouldn't if you were reading it in your head. You're going to revise any informal language you may have. Reflect on your writing and polish as needed. This is going to be your final revision. Submit your final draft and your works cited page to 212. So when you are ready to submit, you're going to go down to week 6, 212, the 100 points, and this is where you're going to submit your assignment right here. All right, so 4.0 is just a module for pretest and checklist. If you feel like you need to do this, or might be some good extra practice for you, I would go ahead and take a look at this. We're going to go ahead and look at 4.01 because this is going to be the lesson that's on your quiz. So 4.01 is taking a closer look. So they're going to give you an example and compare to a scientist. So at the end of this lesson, you're going to be able to complete a quiz which will analyze the organization of a text. So now we're going to be focusing on organization. So your objective is to be able to identify the main idea, paraphrase, and write an objective summary, which we have done in class before. So here's the comparison to the scientist. So they want you to look closely. Just like scientists look at tiny microbes in the body and they use microscopes to take a closer look. As a reader, by taking a closer look, excuse me, you can examine a piece of writing closely and then it can increase your understanding, okay? So it can increase your understanding by analyzing its organization, determining the central or main idea, and once you know these two things, you'll be able to write an objective summary. Slide 4 is just going to give you a little information about the organization of informational articles. Here is an interactive slide about the organization. So it's going to talk about text features, how the text is arranged. And so go through these 4 slides. Slide 6 is going to be showing you how you can come up with the central or main idea of the text. So remember, the main idea or central idea is the most important thought or point that the author is trying to make. So if I said in one sentence, what is this text about? That's going to be your main idea. Here is an interactive slide on central or main idea. Writing a summary. So in your quiz, the last question, you're going to be writing an objective summary. So to recap on what that is, a summary is just a shortened, paraphrased version of the text. So you're just going to pick out the main points and write a short paragraph. It should be around 5 sentences. Remember, your first sentence should always mention the title and the author of the article. And then the following sentences should be the paraphrased central idea of each section of the text. There are no personal opinions. Slide 9 is going to give you just some little tips on how to read the entire text. You're going to separate into sections. Your first sentence should mention the title, the author, and the central idea. The rest of the sentences should just be recapping, rephrasing the central idea for each section. Okay. This is going to be an interactive slide. It's going to show you examples of a summary. So here's the first draft, here's what they made it, but they didn't start out with the author's name or the title. Okay. So here is their revision. Here's their final draft. And if you look in their final draft or their summary, they do have the title and they do have the author. And then they do have the central idea or main idea. Explains how astronomers used satellites and telescopes to confirm that a giant flash in space was created by a black hole devouring a star. So if we read that, we knew that the article was going to be about this. Okay. And then the rest of it should probably be main points on the rest of the paragraphs. Slide 11 is going to be your recap or your review. I cannot talk again today. I don't know what it is. It's Monday. I don't know. Okay. So remember to write a summary. You're going to put your central ideas into a paragraph. You're going to paraphrase, put it in your own words. First sentence should mention the title and the author. No personal opinions. Slide 12 is going to be what's your assignment. So you're going to read the lesson, finish the interactive slides, and then you're going to take the quiz in 4.01. So if you're ready to take the quiz at this point, you can hit next. If you're not and you want to come back to it, you can go back through modules and hit 4.01. So we're going to hit next. And let's take a preview at this quiz. So this is going to be questions about how is the information organized. So is it cause and effect? Because this happened, this is the result. Is it chronological order? Is there some kind of time sequence? You know, first, next, last. Is it just fact by fact? Or is there a problem and then there's a solution? And so you have to figure out by reading and figuring out how it's organized. This is going to ask you what the most accurate definition of a summary is. This one's going to ask you what is the main idea of paragraph 1? What is the, how is the information organized again? What is the main idea of paragraph 2? So make sure you're reading these instructions. Just don't look what's the main idea. Make sure it's for paragraph 2. What is the central or main idea of the article? How do paragraph 1 and paragraph 2 work together? And then this is going to be which sentence best describes the student sentence. So if you look right here, a student attempting to identify the main idea of the paragraph 2 wrote the following sentence. So here is the student's paragraph, or the student's sentence, I should say. And they want to know which sentence best describes that. And then question 9 is where you're going to write your objective summary. So you're going to read this short little article about the ins and outs of belly button lint. I know you're all dying wanting to read about belly button lint. So you're going to read this and you're going to write an objective summary right here. So remember to start with the title and the author of the article. So you should say, according to the ins and outs of belly button lint by Joel Guthrie, the main idea follows. So what is the central or main idea of that text? Then your following 4 sentences should be picking out the main points in each one of these paragraphs, okay? And then you're going to submit. When you submit, you're not going to get your full grade for your quiz. You'll just get the grade for the multiple choice. Once Ms. Scott or I grade your writing response, then you will see your full grade for the quiz, okay? If you have any questions about week 6, or you want me to take a look at your revision before you submit your final draft, I am more than willing to do that. Just shoot me an email in my inbox, or you can text me at the number provided in the announcements. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.